bring anything into the house unless I drop it right at the door and then it's going into the washer. Welcome to my channel. This is the Urban Sewing Society, where we bring fashion and creativity to your neighborhood. My name is Jen and I am the Urban Sewist. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, please be sure to click that subscribe button below and click on that bell so that you get an update every time I release a new video. I typically try to release a video in the middle of the week. It's usually some kind of vlog, and then on Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoon, you'll get a sewing, thrifting, upcycling, refashioning, style, some kind of video like that over the weekend. This week, I want to talk to you about how to clean the clothing that you get from the thrift store. Now, I know many of you all probably go to the thrift store and take your stuff straight to the dry cleaners. I used to be that person. I would take the bag from the thrift store to the dry cleaner. And if that's the way you want to continue to do it, that's fine. But I felt like I needed to find a more sustainable way to clean the clothes from the thrift store. The thrift stores do not necessarily clean the clothes in advance. Now, I know that there were some rumors out there that they wash the clothes before they hang them up. Sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't. They probably don't. And many of you all know that when you go into the thrift store, there is just this sometimes it's this smell. I know a lot of my students have told me that they can't go into the thrift store without a mask because they might start coughing. So I do believe that they are treating the clothing with something. Now, that might mean they spray them down with Febreze. Whatever it is, when you get all of that mixed with people's oils and just everything, it's a lot. It is a lot. I am mindful of that, but for me, I don't bring anything into the house unless I drop it right at the door and then it's going into the washing machine. I try to wash things as soon as possible. And you have to think of this as if somebody took something off their back and then gave it to you. Wouldn't you want to wash it? I know I would. A lot of things can be transmitted through clothing. Just think where people are touching clothes, and these germs and things can last on these fabrics. People have a lot of skin diseases, scabies, whatever it is that they might have, oils on your skin. Just think about that. You don't want that stuff rubbing off on you. So you want to clean these clothes. There's a couple of options that I want to talk to you about today that I think are just really important when you're thinking about that. So now I will be honest with you. I shop for a lot of men's suits, a lot of men's clothing. Sometimes I find stuff that has tags on it already. That doesn't matter to me. I still wash it. If I can wash it, if I can hand wash it, if I can put it in the machine, that's where it goes. Some of these men's suits, I've thrown in the washing machine. I know. It depends on what I'm going to use it for. If I'm going to take a men's suit apart and make a woman's dress out of it, I'll throw it in the washing machine. Or if it is clearly not a fabric or fiber that can go in the washing machine, then I will use a product called Dryel. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about Dryel first because I feel like Dryel is an excellent and alternative when it comes to dry cleaning. Not only is dry cleaning expensive, but I know my dry cleaner is closed like one day out of the week, and that's the one day that really works for me. So if it's something that I absolutely have to take to the dry cleaner, I will, but I try not to as much as possible. So like my wool coat, my down comforter, things like that, yeah, I'm gonna take it to the dry cleaner. But if I've got a nice dress or a suit or a jacket or a pair of slacks that have the tag dry clean only, then I will use Dryel. Dryel works really well because not only can you spot can you speak, Jen? Not only can you spot treat any stains that you may have, then you put all of your pieces into this bag that comes with the Dryel kit. There's a little wet cloth that goes on the inside, and you zip the bag up, you throw it in the dryer for 15 or 20 minutes, and then you take your clothes out and they smell great. That's an option for you if you feel like this is not something that you can throw in the washing machine, throw in the sink with some water. But you'd be surprised how many clothes say that they must be dry clean, and you could put them in the washing machine and leave them to hang and dry. Just because I know fabrics, I've been sewing for so long, I can look at something or touch it and feel like, you know what, I'm gonna throw this in the washing machine. And I've taken chances. They haven't always worked out, but when they do, I will tell you what I threw in the washing machine recently. Trench coats. I just felt like based on the fabric content, I should be able to do that. Now, they did get really wrinkly, which is what the dry cleaner could definitely solve for. But I didn't see any major difference. I just ironed the fabric myself. I wouldn't recommend that on a trench coat that you're planning to wear. I would recommend using Dryel or some other kind of home dry cleaning system, because I could tell the difference in the fibers of the fabric. Let's get into how we start cleaning clothes at home that don't necessarily require dry cleaning. These are just clothes that you're getting from the thrift store and they need to be clean. All right, so the first thing that I use obviously is laundry detergent. Right now I use Tide. I used to go back and forth between Tide and a more natural cleaner, which I am considering, but this Tide has always worked really well for me. I have very sensitive skin. Sometimes I use Tide for sensitive skin. Sometimes I use the 4-in-1. You guys know I'm a runner, and you know, I don't wash my running clothes every day, probably only once a week. And so when they sit for a while, this product works really good. I trust it a lot when it comes to the clothes that I get from the thrift store. So for me, Tide works, but again, any other detergent that you want to use is just fine. I also, when I buy white shirts or white clothing from the thrift store, I also use OxiClean. I've used OxiClean for many years on brightening white. You know, sometimes over time, your white pieces tend to get a little grayed out or maybe yellowed, and this product does really well when it comes to that. It doesn't have any bleach in it, so it's safe to use on colors. So even if you have beiges or yellows that seem like they don't look as crisp as they used to, this works well. I also add to my laundry when I'm laundering thrift store clothing. I use this Lysol laundry sanitizer. There's no bleach in here. This stuff is amazing. I've been using this for as long as I think it has been out. Branded themselves for killing off viruses. I highly recommend this. I keep this on my Amazon subscribe and save. Big part of cleaning thrift store items. You can even use this product without laundry detergent, without any of these other products. This is going to deodorize. It's going to lift from your fabrics, and that is Vinegar. Yes. Many of you all probably heard or saw of, probably when you were younger, probably heard older people talk about using vinegar in your laundry. When I first heard about vinegar, I think a girlfriend told me, no, I was watching her wash her clothes and she poured vinegar in her, and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, you know, I sweat really bad, and you know, I just want to get, you know, the stains and the odor out. And I was like, vinegar? And I was like, well, I don't want my clothes smelling like vinegar. And she was like, absolutely not. This will not happen. I never tried it. I didn't try it until I started washing my thrift store clothing and realized that vinegar is an absolutely amazing product to use to clean these thrift store clothes. For the process of cleaning, I would suggest filling your tub or sink with really hot water and pouring some vinegar into that. Usually about a half a cup is enough. Swish that around in some really hot water and let it sit for a little bit. Then I would take it, I would wring it out, and then I would put it in the washing machine and wash it that way. This helps to kind of do an initial clean or initial kind of deodorizing. When you put it into the washing machine, You can also add some vinegar, and then you can add your OxiClean, you can add your Lysol cleaner, your laundry detergent, you can do all of that. Personally, I do it all. Like, I will soak initially, and then I will also put it in the washing machine. Again, you know, now once I've washed and it's something that might be kind of delicate, or I'm unsure about how the heat is gonna hit it, I will hang these items to dry. If they are looking like they're getting a little wrinkly, or they come out of the washing machine wrinkly, I will use my steamer. I will link the steamer that I have below. I love this steamer. This is a Rowenta steamer. I actually have 2 of these. It travels well. I strongly recommend it. A steamer is gonna be your best friend. It makes me feel like these pieces are brand new. And that's the feeling that you wanna get. Once you're done taking them through the process, you wash them, or you iron them, or you steam them, and you hang them up. You want to feel like you've got this brand new piece that's special for you, and you've taken the time to cultivate it and bring it around to being like new for you. I know there are some people who use Febreze and just Febreze clothes. No, we don't just Febreze. Like, you soak, you wash, you steam, you Febreze. Febreze is like the icing on the cake. Like, you don't really need it, but it's nice to have. It's not the solution to sanitizing and cleaning. I use Febreze on my couch because you guys know I have a dog, but that's about it. And yeah, we don't use Febreze to sanitize and clean clothes. So keep that in mind. Those are my tips. Those are the products that I use. That's the process that I go through. I hope you guys will try this out. If you have any questions, you found this video helpful, please give me a like down below. The likes are really helpful. Please send me a comment. I respond to all my comments. I love to hear from you guys. If you have some other ways that you clean your garments from the thrift store, please let me know. I'll see you next week.